Hello everybody, welcome to another Valentine's Day watercolor tutorial. We're going to be painting 2 Valentine's Day cards today. And this first one is really simple. You can go ahead and just trace the letters that spell out love, so L-O and then V-E just right underneath, and you can just type these out into a Word document or whatever typing application that you have and just trace it onto your piece of paper. It just makes the process a lot easier. And you want to use pencil because we do want to erase this after, hopefully. Sometimes when you paint with watercolor over pencil, it doesn't always erase. And this is going to be very simple. We're going to basically just apply a wash on this entire piece of paper everywhere except where we've outlined our letters, and then we're going to basically let the magic of cotton paper do its thing. It might be easier if you pre-wet some of your watercolors, especially if you're using half pans and not one straight from the tube. So I'm just going to be applying my background here. Usually I would use a mop brush, but because I need to be a little bit more precise around the letters, I am using a round brush by Grumbacher. This one is a size 14 and it's one of my favorite and most used brushes. It's very versatile and it is, I think it's linked in the description if you're interested in adding it to your collection. So this takes a little bit longer than a regular wash because you obviously have to go around all your letters. And it's not as easy to see when you're just painting on water, right? If you don't have cotton paper, this will still work. You just have to be a lot more diligent and perhaps speedy to get your wash of water on, because I found that non-cotton paper does dry a lot quicker, and so by the time that you get to the bottom, the top will already be dry, or dry enough that it won't really create the effect that we're going for. So this is best done with cotton paper, but I have used non-cotton paper for almost every single tutorial, so if I can make it work, you can definitely make it work as well. Now we're working quickly here, and you can take whatever colors that you want, and basically all you're going to start doing is just outlining your letters with these colors. And you can use the same colors, you can use multiple colors for each letter. It's completely up to you, but all that we're doing here is outlining the letters and letting the watercolor do its thing, spread out and be all funky. And you can see part of mine is already drying, so you do have to work a little bit quickly here. I know it might be tempting to kind of help the watercolor along, but do try to be patient and let it kind of do its thing, because it ends up looking really, really cool when you kind of let it spread out on its own. And there we have it. The other thing that you can still do if your background is still wet is you can go and maybe outline just the border on every single one if you want to define your letters a little bit more. But other than that, I just really like how the watercolor bleeds by itself into the surrounding areas. So I like how this looked actually. Okay, so I'm just going to outline some of my letters here. And I'm not intending to be extremely precise, like if it overlaps a little bit, that's okay. Yeah, I think I like that. So you can add a Sharpie as well, or like a fine tip black marker just to outline them. It makes the card pop a little bit more. It does kind of take away a little bit from the naturalness of the paint bleeding outwards, but I kind of like how this looks. So for our next card, we are going to be painting sort of a geometric pattern. So you can kind of see when I hold it up in a certain direction that I have I've used Scotch tape to tape a box in the very center, and then I ripped that Scotch tape lengthwise into little pieces and just taped it in random sections stemming from my square out to the border. And because we're going to be painting each one of these sections a different color of pink or red or whatever Valentine's Day colors you want. So you can, once you've replicated that, you can, I guess, unpause the video and continue on to this step. You can also definitely freehand it. Sometimes it even looks better if it's freehanded, but I wanted to try out what it would look like with Scotch tape. So just starting up top here with a pigmented pink, I suppose. It's a little too pigmented. I wanted to create more of a wash, so what I'm gonna do is make this one much lighter. Like so. Now I'm gonna take a different shade here. This is sort of a magenta color. I know somebody's gonna ask, because somebody asks in almost every single video, I do not have the names of the colors that I use. I don't think it's necessary that you know the names of the colors, because as long as you have a pink, if I'm using a pink, or a blue, if I'm using a blue, you can achieve the look of the painting, and sometimes it ends up looking up even nicer than your reference. So I also don't even have the name card because I threw it out when I got these watercolors because I just didn't think it was very important. I know a lot of people differ on that, and I know a lot of people won't agree with me on that, but that's just my opinion on the matter. So yeah, you're just filling in every section with a different color or shade, and I'm just going with the pinkish red theme here because it's supposed to be a Valentine's Day card. So but you can honestly put on whatever colors that you would like. even if you only have one pink or one red, you can still create a beautiful color gradient with just that one color. Like you can see here, I used just one color. And I just used a lot of it. It's super intense at the bottom, and I just gradually added more water to create a much lighter tone up here. So don't be too hung up if you don't have multiple colors. I only used 3 different colors on this card, but there's 6 different hues or gradients. So just keep that in mind. So now that we've covered our whole card here, we're just going to wait for this to dry. You can also use a hairdryer to speed up the process, and then we will continue on. So once your card is mostly dry, we can do the fun part, in my opinion, and peel off all of the tape. So actually I'm going to start with the ones on the outside. That looks pretty cool. So now I'm just going to draw on a black border on the inside here. So you can take a ruler. I'm just using the back of another piece of paper. And I'm just gonna draw it on the very inside. Just join up the corners here. Here we go. So now you can just write whatever holiday greeting that you want. I'm just going to write Happy Love Day. And I always like to write it in with a pencil first, because when I'm lettering, I don't always think about the order of the letters, so sometimes I miss one. And also when I'm doing cursive, it doesn't always look that great. Yeah, see, I do not like that. Happy Love Day. And then you can just write over it. And there we go. We have our second Valentine's Day card. So that's about it. By the way, you can just erase the pencil lines underneath afterwards, but that's about it for our 2 Valentine's Day cards this week. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and check out my other Valentine's Day tutorials. Thanks for watching.